This is Dispatches from Myrtle Beach with Charles Neal and my son Link from Good Mythical Morning. You doing any better, son?
I am doing better, Dad. I wish I could say that my back was 100%, but that's definitely not the case. It's just one of those things that trying to be easy with it so I don't re-injure it.
That's
but
right.
You got to keep moving forward.
That's right.
How about you?
Yeah, I've been, well, the last time we talked, it had been really cold here.
Yeah.
And then a couple of days after that, it got up to 70 degrees here.
The Myrtle Beach that we know and love.
I'm telling you, I mean, it's just like, okay, let springtime come on. It's kind of gone up and down, but it ain't got real cold since. So it's been in the 50s and 60s and close to 70s. So I can handle that. That's wonderful.
So now you don't feel like you got to move again?
No. Because
we don't want you to start thinking about Florida.
I'm not moving. I don't care how, no, I'm done moving. We've already talked about this.
Yeah.
The next time I move, it'll be when you come back down here and they got me in a box and they carrying me back to North Carolina to put me in the ground. So,
okay.
Unless something really happens bad, that's the next time I'm moving.
All right. But you're asking me to move you at that point, which, I guess so.
I'm pretty sure Nancy will take care of all that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll help. I'll help when I can, where I can, how I can, if I can. I will. I promise. I'll help. I'll be helpful.
Okay.
But just no time soon.
I hope that's a long time, 20 more years from now.
Yeah, it's going to be. You're going to be 93.
Yep.
You want to be 93 when you pass?
No.
How old do you want to be?
That's hard to say. If I can still get around and move and look after myself, just as long as I can do that, that's, whether it's 93 or 103.
Oh. Well, let's set our sights on 103 and then just take it as it comes.
Yeah.
All right. Because the older you get, the smaller you'll get and the easier the box will be to lift.
Okay. All right.
So I hear you. So I'm pulling for you to live a long time just so the box isn't heavy.
Well, I don't think you're going to have to be a pallbearer. So
okay.
You don't have to worry about that. Yeah. That's funny. Losing weight. That's a heck of a way to go on a diet. Just get ready to die.
Trying to keep it light, literally and figuratively.
Yeah, that'd be correct.
Yep.
Yes, it would.
Yep.
Well, Link, we got a holler out from, and I'm not really sure how to pronounce, but it's Hamish, I think. Hamish.
Okay. Hamish.
He says, hi, Charles. I'm 26 years old. I love listening to your podcast. I've been a GMM fan for a long time. With the absence of Ear Biscuits, it's nice to still have a podcast to listen to. So I'm going to stop right there for a minute. Hamish, I'm glad you brought that up because it would be nice for all the people that you know and all you Myrtle Beasts, if you know somebody that used to listen to Rhett and Link on Ear Biscuits, give them a holler out and let them know that come on down here to Dispatches from Myrtle Beach because I hate to, you and Rhett do a lot of stuff together, but I really do think that I do a lot better with you than Rhett does on a podcast.
Well, there's a reason why one's still going and one's not. Maybe that's the reason, Dad.
Maybe, I don't know.
Can't disagree. But I got to upgrade. All y'all Ear Biscuiteers, come on over to Dispatches because my co-host, I got a co-host upgrade.
Yeah. Well, maybe he don't watch the podcast.
His loss. His loss if he doesn't.
All you Ear Biscuit people, just come on over to Dispatches. That's what I'm asking.
Welcome to Dispatches, Ear Biscuiteer.
But Hamish said, I lost my grandparents a few years ago, and listening to you and Link is like listening to my papa talk again. And then you got to really pay attention to this next part, Link, because it's got a lot to do with what you can do to help us do this. It says, I hope to one day meet you guys if you ever tour to Sydney, Australia. I'd like to meet you.
Oh,
so
he down there, down under.
Yeah.
So you want to, maybe you're planting a seed for a Dispatches tour of Australia.
Yeah.
Well, years ago we did do an Australian tour. That was before Dispatches.
Yep.
Maybe it's in the cards down the road. I definitely loved Australia, and I would love to go back. You'd like it, Dad.
I'd like to go. Yeah.
They got more poisonous animals than every other continent combined, I think. I know how you like to touch poisonous animals.
Yeah. So I'd have to do a little research to see about what I can catch and what I can't catch. But we'll just see. So, Hamish, if we ever get to Sydney, Australia, I'll make sure that you get to meet us if we're down there doing a podcast somewhere. We'll give you get you a personal invitation to come and see me and Link.
Okay.
And get you in the side door to meet us. So because you sending us a email, and we'll see if we can't look after you. Just cross your fingers. We'll just see what happens and everything. But
sounds like you want to go to Australia, Dad.
Well, it's like you said. I've heard you talk about it and all these other people, and I think that'd be a nice little trip, and then a work and a vacation thing. So that would be pretty nice. Yeah.
I can't argue with that. All right. Yeah. Just plugging it. Just plugging a little thought in there. I like that.
It's time for another edition of Myrtle Beach Mailbag. Link, we got an email from David, and he says, howdy, Charles.
Howdy, David.
Howdy. 12 years ago, Rhett and Link made a song called Who's Your Daddy, in which they have a rap battle listing off their dad's impressive accomplishments. I wouldn't put it past you to have run a marathon in under 2 hours, or good God, run a marathon under 2 hours on your hands, or bench press 800 pounds. But I think the line about creating a barbecue sauce beloved by people of both North and South Carolina might actually be true. Did your secret barbecue sauce recipe really unite the Carolinas from a big Myrtle Beach from Wyoming?
Okay, Dad, do you know what he's referencing? Were you aware of this song before this email?
I don't think so, but I might have seen this. It's been a pretty good while ago, hasn't it?
Yeah, it was 2013. Do you have a clip? Show him a clip of it.
Who's your daddy?
My father. Who's your daddy?
My father. And he's better than your daddy.
Huh? My daddy can bench press 400 pounds, 800 if he uses both arms.
My daddy can make a delicious pizza using nothing but found items from your backyard.
My daddy ran a marathon in under 2 hours on his hands.
My daddy was the lead singer of 90% of all popular 80s hair bands.
My daddy runs the economy from an office buried deep within the earth's core.
My daddy catches swordfish with a fish sword. A fish sword.
All right.
My daddy has a monkey butler that brings him bananas and fresh...
I asked Logan to print off all of these lyrics because I can't remember all of them. And I just want to verify how many of these claims that I made about you are true all these years later. Now, they may have been true in 2013. They may no longer be true, so keep that in mind.
Okay.
First of all, as the ones that we've already said, can you bench press 800?
No.
But in 2013?
No.
No. All right. Do you have a monkey butler that brings you bananas and fresh herbal teas?
No, I don't have that either.
Come on, Dad, play along a little bit. I don't want you to undermine this entire song. Were you ever arrested for smelling too good and for being too handsome?
Probably, yes.
There we go. In what years?
What year is that? Anywhere in the 70s and the 80s.
Okay. You were arrested multiple times in the 70s and 80s.
Time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Is it true that you jumped out of a plane and landed safely on another plane, flying at a lower altitude?
I wish that was true, but it was not true.
If it needed to be true.
Yeah. If it needed to be true, I could have probably done it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed. Did you invent the wheel?
There's some things about the wheel I probably did invent.
Yep. I'm not skipping any of these because they're all worth saying. Did you put up a cardboard cutout of yourself in a cul-de-sac for crime prevention?
Yes, I probably did do that. Yes, I did.
Yep. You're saying you don't recall it, but you probably. But since I'm telling you that you did it, it's probably that you don't remember doing it.
That's right. I don't remember. Right. Yeah.
Okay. Do you plan to relax by working on an oil rig when you retire?
Well, I'm probably going to do that. That'd probably be easier work than what I do now.
Exactly. Is it true? A lot of people have been talking about this. I'm glad that we finally have you to confirm that you, in fact, did choreograph the knife fight in Michael Jackson's Bad music video. The knife fight. Did you choreograph that, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, yep, right. Okay. And did you also edit Alien versus Predator, the movie? Were you the editor of that?
Well, I was half editor.
Right. And you were uncredited.
Yeah, uncredited.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know you have a garden. We talk a lot about that. But what we haven't talked about is that you genetically engineered a plant to grow fully fried onion blossoms. Why don't you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it took a little while and experimenting with it, but yes, that did happen. And it sure is good.
Right. It's better than Outback.
Oh, yeah. A lot better.
Right. Because it's right there in your backyard, in your garden.
Right, yeah.
Okay. And then, this is one that David talked about. You created a barbecue recipe that is loved by the people of both North and South Carolina. I didn't say sauce, but maybe I should have said sauce.
Yeah, that would be correct.
And, of course, you can teleport.
I've been teleported several different places.
Right. Okay. All right. So now we got that cleared up. Nothing that Rhett said about his dad back in 2013 was true at the time, and it's not true now. So after all these years, I'm glad we can finally put this to bed and talk about it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. And even if you didn't do all those things, I'd still love and admire you. But because you did do all those things, I admire you even more.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to brag a little bit about you in 2013. It took many years to clarify it, but here we are.
Learning a new language is one of those goals that feels big, but Rosetta Stone makes it surprisingly manageable. You don't need hours a day. You just need a few consistent moments, and suddenly things start clicking. Rosetta Stone has been the trusted leader in language learning for over 30 years, and their immersive approach helps you learn naturally without translating everything back to English or memorizing endless word lists. What I really appreciate is how flexible it is. I can squeeze in a lesson whenever I have time, and True Accent gives real-time feedback on pronunciation, so you're actually learning how to sound like a real speaker. Whether you're prepping for travel, reconnecting with your roots, or just committing to learning something new this year, Rosetta Stone helps you build real confidence that sticks. Don't wait. Unlock your language learning potential now. Dispatches from Myrtle Beach listeners can grab Rosetta Stone's lifetime membership for 50% off. That's unlimited access to 25 language courses for life. Visit rosettastone.com/dispatches to get started and claim your 50% off today. Go to rosettastone.com/dispatches and start learning today. Okay, we got another email link, and it's from Austin.
Okay.
He says, what's something in your life that you are adamant about doing correctly? And with that, you feel strongly that way is the only correct way. Basically, what hill are you dying on? Okay. For me, it is to shower correctly. Oh, and ketchup does not belong in the fridge.
Well, I know how to shower correctly. I totally agree with that.
Oh yeah, and that you helped straighten me out about that. And,
what about ketchup though? You have it in the fridge?
Absolutely.
I wish if I could learn that I don't have to keep it in the fridge, I would love that. There's too many things in the fridge, and it keeps them too cold. Room temp is where it's at. Room temp is the best temp.
I have seen things on my phone on the internet that says you are not supposed to keep mustard in the refrigerator either.
And you don't want it that cold anyway. You don't want that stuff cold on your sandwich.
Does ketchup and mustard have enough so much preservative in it that after you open it, you don't need to keep it cold?
I think definitely mustard. I don't know about ketchup. But if there's a bunch of vinegar in something like a hot sauce, no, just keep it on the shelf.
That's right.
Shelf
just
stable.
like my barbecue sauce. Yeah.
See, there it is. You don't say to put that in the fridge, do you?
No, I sure don't.
See, and then Christy was still putting it in the fridge. We need to stop that. Huh. But what is your answer to the question? What is it that you know how to do that like is a hill that you're going to die on?
Being from a farming and growing background, one of the main things that I'm probably going to live and die on is when to plant my garden and to grow stuff and where it'll grow abundantly and how to fertilize it and to keep and plow it and keep the weeds out of it and make it pretty and I'm gonna do that and then besides doing all that and doing that, but when I was growing up and up until this day right now,
okay,
what 50 years or 60 years ago, when I used to cut grass when I was growing up and got paid for it, boy, I'd cut a straight line. It'd be straight. These people charge, just like watching it on where you see these things on golf courses and they cut these ways and it's rolled back this way and cut. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty adamant about cutting my grass. And when somebody rides in front of our house, it's a straight line going this way. And then when you turn around and see it, you can see it's straight. It's straight. It ain't got no crook to it. And the line's straight and it's purty and doing it. So
I love that. Purty and doing it. You want it to be straight. Because if you start at the edge and you start going around the edge of stuff, and you start there, and then you just keep going around it. You go right next to your edge, and then you go next to that, and again next to that. You're perpetuating an undulation, which is not to our visual liking, right?
That's correct.
You got to start with a straight line. Or even if you go around the undulated area, then you got to do a straight line and then start from there once you get past the undulation.
And that's what I where all Nancy's rose garden beds are, I cut around them one time, and sometimes maybe twice, and cut around them. Then I pick me out a straight line and cut straight up and down, and turn around, keep going the other way. So,
and you know what? Has anybody tried to tell you different?
Oh no,
because that would be a mistake.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to then turn 90 degrees and cut it the other way?
Yes, I have.
Mm-hmm.
I used to do that some, so it would cut and lay a different way where you'd see it.
Oh yeah.
In different directions.
And then if you want to get crazy, you go with the 45.
Yeah, I have done that before too.
You go with another 45 right there.
Yeah, to go back and forth. I have done. I have done all those things. Mowing grass.
How did Charles die? Well, he died on a hill that was mowed perfectly.
Yeah, that's correct. And won't with a riding lawnmower, it was with a push lawnmower too. That's right.
There's lots of things I have strong opinions on. I'm trying to think what mine would be. Well, we feel the same way about the grass, though. I love that. All right, I'm gonna go with like one that everybody encounters. This is maybe obvious, but because we all encounter it so much, I'm gonna say it. Toilet paper roll in like over the top or under the bottom, and I will die on the hill of over the top. If matter of fact, I was staying at a place a few days ago, and it was the other way, and I will go through the trouble of taking it off, flipping it around, and putting it back on.
Me and you both.
I don't know why anybody would want to have it under, like it's hiding behind it. You want it to come over the front, so when you pull it, you don't want it on the back. Are we going to have this debate? So we agree.
Yes, we do.
I would die on that hill. How did he die? He died
turning a roll of toilet paper over and having it pulled across the top.
Yeah. But he did finish. He did complete it right before he died.
Okay, we got an email from Sharon. It says, you asked for easier tongue twisters to be sent in, but I'm so sorry, Charles. I can't do that. Oh, Lordy.
All right. So let's throw these things up there, and then we're going to try to say them without reading it. We're going to read it once, and then we're going to not read it to say it, because that makes it too easy. So you read it the first time.
Betty bought a bit of butter, but the butter Betty bought was bitter.
All right, so now look away. Yep, and then say
Betty bought a bit of butter, but the butter...
you got the first part. Betty bought a bit of butter.
Betty bought a bit of butter, but Betty bought a bit of butter, but the butter Betty bought was bitter.
Betty bought a bit of butter, but the butter Betty bought was bitter.
But the Betty bought was bitter.
This one's fun to say, actually. Betty bought a bit of butter, but the butter Betty bought was bitter. But the butter Betty bought was bitter. Yeah. I think we can go real fast, Dad. I'll do it real fast.
Betty bought a bit of butter, but Betty bought a bit of butter, but good God.
Yep.
Betty bought a bit of butter, but the butter Betty bought was bitter.
Yes! Woo! Faster.
Betty bought a bit of butter, but the butter Betty bought was bitter.
Not quite. Betty bought a bit of butter, but the butter Betty bought was bitter. Betty bought a bit of butter, but the butter Betty bought was bitter. Betty bought a bit of butter, but the butter Betty bought was bitter. See, if you change your voice, you're like an auctioneer. Betty bought a bit of butter, but the butter Betty bought was better. Betty bought a bit of butter, but the butter Betty bought was better. Try that.
Betty bought a bit of butter, but the butter Betty bought was bitter.
Stick with it.
Betty bought a bit of butter, but the butter better. Oh, God.
Betty bought a bit of butter, but the butter Betty bought was better.
Betty bought a bit of butter, but the butter Betty bought was bitter.
Yeah, close your eyes. That's good. Betty bought a bit of butter, but the butter Betty bought was better. Dad?
Betty bought a bit of butter, but the butter better bought was bitter.
Better, better.
I can't do it that fast.
All right, next one. What is this one?
It is harder to toot or... Oh,
No, it's a question. Is it?
Is it harder to toot or to tutor two tutors to toot? Oh, my God.
Now, this is actually a good question. Is it harder to toot or to tutor two tutors to... Is it harder to toot or to tutor two tutors to toot?
Is it harder to toot or to tutor two tutors to?
I don't
tutors
think...
to toot?
Since when does anybody need to be tutored to fart? Like, you don't have to teach somebody to fart. I mean, nobody taught me how to fart. Well, I take that back. I had a number of great farters in my life, and they definitely raised the bar on what I thought I could be capable of. Is it harder to toot or to tutor two tutors to toot? Or to tutor two tutors to toot?
Is it harder to toot to toot?
Is it harder to toot?
Tutor two tutors to toot.
Is it harder to toot or to tutor two tutors to toot? Or to tutor two tutors to toot? Is it harder to toot or to tutor two tutors to toot? Dad.
Is it harder to toot to tutor two tutors to toot?
You got to say or. Is it harder to toot or to tutor two tutors to toot? To tutor
Is it harder to toot or tutor two tutors to tutors to toot?
That's a lot of to tutors to tutors to tutors. Is it harder to toot or to tutor two tutors to toot? Is it harder to toot or to tutor two tutors to toot?
Is it harder to toot or two tutors? Is it harder to toot or tutor two tutors to two tutors to toot?
You're going too long. Is it harder to toot or to tutor two tutors to toot?
Is it harder to toot or tutor two tutors to toot?
Yeah, that's it. Next one.
Which wristwatches are Swiss wristwatches?
Okay.
Which wristwatches are Swiss? Which wristwatches are Swiss? Which are witches?
You nailed it, Dad. You nailed it. Which wristwatches are Swiss wristwatches? Which wristwatches are Swiss wristwatches? Swiss wristwatches.
Which wristwatches are Swiss wristwatches?
Which wristwatches are Swiss wristwatches?
Which wristwatches are Swiss wristwatches?
Close. Which wristwatches are Swiss wristwatches?
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 Wait. Which wristwatches are Swiss wristwatches?
Which wristwatches are Swiss wristwatches?
Which wristwatches are Swiss wristwatches? Faster, faster, faster.
That was fast for me.
Faster.
Which wristwatches are Swiss? Which wristwatches are Swiss wristwatches? I'm done.
Which wristwatches are Swiss wristwatches? Which wristwatches are Swiss wristwatches? All right. You know, I used to be a rapper, Dad. I think that's what's coming in handy. All right, let's see another one. Oh, read it.
Okay. Fred fed Ted bread and Ted fed bread. I can't even read it. Fred fed Ted bread and Ted fed Fred bread.
So conceptually, explain to me what's happening. If you were to visualize this, what would you be seeing?
Fred fed Ted bread and Ted fed Fred bread.
So in your own words, describe, close your eyes, visualize. You got two people. Who are they?
Fred and Ted.
And what are they doing?
Feeding each other bread.
Mm-hmm. All right. So now that you're seeing that in your head, it's going to make it easier to say this one. Close your eyes.
Fred Ted bread and Fred Ted bread.
Fred? Fred fed Ted bread and Ted fed Fred bread.
Fred fed Ted bread and Ted.
Yes. Yes.
Fred fed Ted bread and Ted Fred. Fred fed Ted bread and fed Ted. Fred fed Ted bread and Ted fed Ted bread.
Close.
Fred bread. I keep feeding Ted.
Feed Fred a little bit now. Fred's getting hungry. All right, go again.
Fred fed Ted bread and Fred.
Nope.
And Fred fed Ted bread and Ted fed Fred bread.
Okay. I think the key is with your eyes closed, if you look at Fred feeding Ted and then Ted feeding Fred, what? Then it's like a tennis match. Fred fed Ted bread and Ted fed Fred bread. Ted fed bread, Fred. Ted Fred bread and Fred. See, I've added choreography. It's made it harder. Fred.
Well, I don't
Fred
need it to
fed,
be no harder.
Fred fed Ted bread and Ted fed Fred bread. Is that it?
Fred Ted bread and Ted Fred bread.
You said Fred twice. Fred fed Ted bread and Ted Fred. I did it too. Ted fed bread and Fred bread. Ted fed Fred bread. God dang it. Ted fed Fred bread and Fred fed Ted bread.
Fred fed Ted bread and Fred bread.
No. Fred fed Ted bread and Fred fed Ted bread. No.
No.
No, Ted.
That was the same thing twice.
Fred fed Ted bread and Ted Fred bread.
What?
Fred fed Ted bread and Ted Fred bread.
No. Ted fed Fred bread. You do the first part, I'll do the second part.
Fred fed Ted bread.
And Ted Fred. Try again.
Fred fed Ted bread and
Ted Fred. Ah! Ted fed Fred bread. All right.
yeah.
Ted Fred Ted bread and Ted fed Fred bread.
And Fred fed Ted bread and Ted fed bread.
You almost got it, Dad. Fred fed Ted bread. Ted fed Fred bread.
That's it. Fred fed Ted bread and Fred. And
Nope.
fed Fred Ted bread and Ted Fred bread.
And
Is
that it?
That's it.
I'm exhausted.
That's it.
I'm exhausted. We
Well-
hate you, Sharon. We hate you.
You won. You
won.
won, Sharon.
Do we hate her? Do we hate her, Dad?
No, I don't hate her, but
Oh my God. I'm
but
exhausted.
I dislike her a little bit.
We dislike you a little bit.
But you did pick out some pretty good tongue twisters and saved Fred and Ted for last.
Uh-huh.
They ought to be full of bread time me and Link got through.
Well, I think Fred might be full of himself. You know what I'm saying? Well, we are done. Are we done? Woo, let's all
Well-
take a nap. I think what we should do is we should give permission. This should be a new thing for the show, Dad. Let me pitch this to you. Not every episode, but an episode where we really got worked up, we can give ourselves and everybody else permission to take a nap.
Well, me and you like naps, but Rhett don't think we ought to take naps.
He ain't got nothing to do with this.
That's right.
I think we should give our loyal listeners permission to take a nap after listening to that.
Yeah, they can take a nap.
So tell them. You do it. It's your show.
All you Myrtle Beasts, when you listen to us do tongue twisters or anything else, and when we get through and with the podcast, you have my permission to lay down and take a nap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And rest.
And you don't need to explain it to anybody. You don't need to defend yourself.
Nope, sure don't. No. I like to take a nap.
And
telling you.
and then wake up, get on with
I
it.
think my naps are better sleep sometimes than what I get at night.
I like how you emphasize the T on night. Night. It's the little things that keep us going.
Well, Link, I think we've had a tongue twisting day, but I think we had a good time, and it was fun having you all here with us today, and we'll be back next week for another one. And don't forget to follow and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. And while you're at it, rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. And if you got a question, comment, or story, email me at ratherbeshagging53@aol.com. And y'all have a great rest of your week, especially you, Fred and Ted, who fed each other bread.
Oh, yeah. And Dad, I just want to thank you for your role in inventing an aspect of the wheel. Thank you for that.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it.
Love you.
Love you.
Pre-order our kids' book, Spaghetti Head and Chicken Fingers, now at mythicalbooks.com.